Hi everyone, it's Dr. Campbell, and I am back with another ICD-10 PCS operative report. So in this particular case, our patient has gastritis and duodenitis. So as you know, itis is inflammation. In this particular case, your patient has inflammation of the stomach and inflammation of the duodenum. And you know the duodenum is one of three parts of the small intestine. Our procedure for today is an esophagogastroduodenoscopy with a biopsy. Let's pause. So one of the things that I've been saying throughout this segment is that it's critical for you to understand what your provider is doing. Now is the time to understand the procedure by Googling a picture of this procedure, which is known as an EGD. So scopy, that's the process of viewing. In this particular case, the provider is inserting a scope into the esophagus and is advancing the scope down to the stomach and the duodenum, and they do a biopsy. You must understand what you are coding before you can dissect your operative report and build your ICD-10 PCS code. So let's take a look at our report. As per usual, the patient is medicated, taken to the OR, and they go through the normal anesthetic process, all right? So after that, an Olympus gastroscope was inserted into the esophagus, which was well visualized with no significant segmental spasms. Subsequently, the scope was advanced into the distal esophagus, which was essentially normal. So he's just looking around, guys. Then the scope was advanced into the stomach, which showed evidence of erythema and gastritis. The pylorus was intubated and the duodenal bulb was visualized. The duodenal bulb showed severe erythema suggestive of duodenitis. Biopsies of both the duodenum and the stomach were obtained, and the scope was withdrawn, and the patient tolerated the procedure well. So guys, what body parts do we have? We have stomach. Yes, and we have the duodenum or the duodenum. All right, so you got your two body parts. So then from there, the question that you have to ask yourself is, what did they do for both of these body parts? Well, they did a biopsy, and in ICD-10 PCS, a biopsy is coded to which root operation? Excision. Yes, guys. Okay. So now we know our body parts, which is the stomach and the duodenum. We know our root operation, which is excision. So what else do we need to know? We need to know our approach. Well, if you look at the operative report, the gastroscope was advanced into the esophagus. Okay, guys, if you look at an anatomy diagram, you'll know that they got into the esophagus via the mouth. So that is a natural opening, right? Natural opening, and it was endoscopic. Now guys, notice today as I'm dissecting the operative report, I'm not doing any highlighting. I'm writing out the key things that I'm noticing in the report. And then the last thing, guys, this is a biopsy. So you know that your qualifier is going to be Yay, diagnostic. All right, so now that you have dissected your operative report, what's the next thing, guys? And I know you already know the answer. And if you said you have to take out your ICD-10 PCS manual, you are absolutely correct. So I am in my ICD-10 PCS manual. I have identified my root operation of excision. So what I'm going to do, guys, here is I'm going to grab both tables because I got two body parts. I have my duodenum and then I have my stomach. So in the index, I'm going to remember this first gray line. That's the line we're looking at for our body parts. Okay, very, very important to follow these steps each and every time. All right, guys, so I found duodenum. That is table 0DB. And notice I have a fourth character of 9 for my body part. Now, while I'm over here, guys, I'm going to also grab my body part of stomach because then I could just actually look at both tables at one time. So I went to the letter S's under excision and I was given the body part value of stomach. That is table 0DB with a fourth character of 6 for the stomach. So now that I have both of those tables, I'm going to go and locate them. And I don't know if you noticed, guys, but they were both in the same table. They were both in table 0DB. And I'll make sure you can see what I'm doing here, which is I'm just flipping through my manual to locate table 0DB. All right. So here, table 0DB, and I am gonna build my code. I'm gonna go for my duodenum first, and in the first table here I see duodenum. I know that this is via a natural or artificial opening, endoscopic. Remember my notes? This is why you have to have notes. Every note that I wrote down, I am now pulling that information in to then build my code. So that's going to be a X. So my final code for the duodenum is, let's write this out for you. Duodenum is 0DB 9 8ZX. Notice how I'm using all capital letters. My first character is a 0. The letter O and I are not used in ICD-10 PCS coding. All right, so now put this to the side. I'm still in table 0DB for my other body part, which is the stomach. Now, a couple of things I want you to notice. Notice in the first row where I found, let's make sure you guys can see this. In the first row where I found duodenum, I see something that says stomach pylorus. Well, guys, my patient's procedure was not on the pylorus of the stomach. My patient was on the actual stomach. So I'm not going to build my code from this column here or this row. I'm going to go over to this row and build my code. So 6 for stomach via natural or artificial opening, endoscopic, no device, and we know that this was diagnostic. It was a biopsy. So final code here again. And this is for my stomach. And guys, I'm just writing the body parts out on here so that you can see them. But when you are turning in a code for coding and billing purposes, you don't list the words, okay? So 0 dB, 6, 8, Z, X. And guys, those are your final 2 codes for this particular case. Again, this was our patient who had the esophageal duodenoscopy with biopsy. The first body part was the stomach, and the second body part, or the first body part was the duodenum, and the second body part was the stomach. All right, guys, I hope that you enjoyed our segment today, and I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye now.